Ladies and gentlemen, Rise of Kingdoms just wrapped up a in-person meetup in Dubai where they revealed a bunch of new things coming to Rise of Kingdoms, including the 2 new legendary infantry commanders that we covered in yesterday's video. If you guys missed that video, definitely go ahead and check it out because they showed all the skills for the brand new infantry open field and garrison commanders. But today we're going to take a look at the rest of the future updates coming to Rise of Kingdoms. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. As you guys know, I am a partnered creator with Rise of Kingdoms, which means they support a few videos on the channel every single month, just like this one. But the most important support comes from you guys dropping a thumbs up down below and subscribing for more videos. Okay, let's jump right in here. The first thing they show off is called KVK ratings. It says Lost Kingdoms can earn ratings based on their total number of kills and deaths. Lost Kingdoms rated S+ or S will unlock better quests in the Hall of Heroes. Complete those quests to earn gems, resources, speed ups, and an increase to the percentage of dead units returned to you. Now, somebody who was actually at the Dubai event took a picture of this slide that was showed off during the event, and this reveals a couple of crazy things. First of all, 50% resource return, healing resource consumption return, a 50% healing speed up return, and an 80% unit death return. Now, this information was not part of the post on the official Rise of Kingdoms social media accounts, and therefore I don't want to say that those numbers are set in stone. Okay, everything that we talk about in this video, and this is a good time to talk about this, everything that's discussed in this video is things that the developers are considering adding, right? And all the fine tuning and all the small details are still probably going to be ironed out over the next coming weeks and months, so please keep that in mind. But I did want to share this image that they themselves shared as sort of a point, maybe a starting point, right? And I can imagine this being the case for a very insane KVK, right? Like, it's probably the case that if you are like basically zeroing your kingdom in this KVK trying to duke it out, then maybe you earn yourself a higher return ratio. I think that's completely fair. That will also encourage people to fight more because they know that they'll be able to get their things back or more of their stuff back at the end, which is very, very nice. But again, we don't actually know those numbers, so please take that with a grain of salt. Now, it is also interesting to know that you'll be able to earn gems and speed ups, right? Like, this is really cool, and I wonder if this is going to be a sort of KVK based quest, or maybe a kingdom or a camp based quest, or are these going to be individual quests that you as a individual player have to complete in order to unlock these different rewards? I'm interested to see how that's going to go. Taking a look at the next slide, it says KVK flag presets. Alliances can plan out their KVK flag placement in advance. When the conditions are met, flags will automatically be placed. That is very exciting and also very dangerous, okay? Because what that means is if your alliance leader plans out a flag line and then goes offline and people aren't paying attention to fill that next building flag, the enemy could just jump right over and pop it, right? So really exciting. All in all, I would say this is a very good quality of life change. I'm very happy about this, especially because most kingdoms, they probably only have a few leaders that are very well versed in flag building, right? And so they can sort of plan those in advance and then not have to stay up for 24 hours straight to get those flags built properly, right? So that is very exciting. I wonder if you'll be able to build in forks, right? 2 different directions. That might be a little bit complicated, right? So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the limitations are for this, but all in all, I think this is a really solid change that I think a lot of especially alliance leaders are going to be very happy about. Moving on, it says power rating and visualization. Rating graph helps visualize kingdom power. So this is effectively the same thing that we see on a per account basis, but this is just for the kingdom itself, right? So you can see how good is a kingdom relatively speaking to other kingdoms around. I don't know how they're going to calculate things like field combat capability, strategic attrition, like what is that? I don't know how they, like, what numbers are they using to calculate these things, right? Like, obviously power is easy. Personal progression is probably just the top 100 or 300 accounts. What do they look like, right? So I think this is, again, overall good, especially if you're looking to migrate to a new kingdom, or maybe this this will cause mass migrations out of kingdoms as well, because they're going to see, oh my god, my kingdom is like D in everything, why am I here, let me leave, right? So double-edged sword here, but I think overall this is probably a good thing. Next up, alliance bosses, new alliance gameplay. Okay, so we have this looks like a, well, this is clearly the Dark Fortress, right? But I assume that this is going to be sort of like, what is it, like the Dark Legion or whatever, when they rally your cities. It looks like this might be the opposite, where maybe after the rallies are finished, now you and your alliance have to rally them or swarm down their city or whatever the case might be. All in all, I think that's great. More open world, open field events for an alliance is always a good thing, so I'm stoked about that. Caravan looting, I don't know what this is. It looks like this is probably, again, the opposite of like a Silk Road or something like that, where instead of defending the caravan, you are now the attacker, right? And you actually have to loot that caravan. I think that's really cool. I almost would prefer that, right? I hate micromanaging 5 marches to like go in different directions to defend the caravan. It's just not my favorite event. So that looks really cool. I'm excited to see how that works. Crystal tech updates. All right, reduced crystal costs and greater customization, pre-unlocked core tech for faster progression. So this looks really interesting. I wonder how this is going to work in terms of customization, right? Maybe they're just going to let you kind of go in different directions. There's going to be fewer bottlenecks maybe moving forward and progressing through the crystal tech. Also, pre-unlocked core tech is very nice, right? Like there's always the original earlier techs that you're just going to max right away, right? You have to do it. So sitting there and like waiting for the helps or just instant maxing it, right? Like it's nice to be able to skip all that. But like if we look here, Scudam, Pavis, plate armor, and heavy frame, those are actually technologies in your city. In particular, these are the defense in your city tech, right? So I mean, I honestly feel like, here's what I'm going to tell you guys, okay? If we look at commanders like Arthur, right? King Arthur is a little bit squishy. I'm going to talk about that in an upcoming video where I discuss my armies that I used for this KVK, but I did find that unless he was paired with Huo, even though he has 20% health, he was pretty squishy. He died very fast, right? And if you watched yesterday's video and you saw the new commanders that are coming for infantry, they also don't really have that many tanky stats, right? They don't have a lot of health. They don't have a lot of defense. And so I can imagine a world where right now we have a majority of crystal tech being attack, right? But with this upcoming change and with the fact that they're showing they're literally showing the defense technology here and the new commanders being lacking some of that defense, right? I can easily imagine a world where we are going to be getting defense or health, but at least defense is shown here in crystal technology, which completely changes the math when it comes to how important crystal tech is. And I mean that's like a whole topic for another video, right? Because right now crystal tech is all attack and all damage and units, right? And so the more crystal tech you have, the more damage you're dealing, but your tankiness is dependent on your your equipment, it's dependent on your armaments and all that stuff, right? But all of a sudden, if we don't have as much attack in crystal tech and instead we have defense or maybe even health, right? I mean, this is medical core right here. Like medical core is universal troop health, right? Like that's what this is in the actual tree. And so honestly, if we get more tanky stats in crystal tech, I'm afraid to say, but and this is just my suspicion, and so don't freak out, but I feel like crystal tech might be more important than ever if we start to get more tanky stats. So my hope is that with the reduced cost and greater customization, you will be able to more easily obtain those stats because they may be more important than they've been in the past, right? Like infantry attack, right? Like that's not that important. I mean, it's nice to have it in your crystal tech, but it's not a big game changer, right? But if all of a sudden you have infantry defense and universal troop health, that's a really big deal. You're going to need that to compete in the open field, right? Now, of course, this is hypothetical. We don't know the numbers to this. We don't know if this is just a prototype. We don't know if this is actually real. Like, so please be careful. Just understand that this is all speculation based off of literally a screenshot of something that the devs are considering. It's not even in the game yet. So don't freak out. Okay. Don't freak out. We don't know what these numbers are. And I could be completely wrong. Straight up. I could be completely wrong. But my point is that I suspect that if we get more tanky stats in crystal tech, it's going to be even more important to grind your crystal tech. And again, hopefully with the reduced cost and greater customization, you'll be able to just pinpoint exactly what you want and get just those most important stats. And also remember, they're changing Kokurak to reducing it to 4 stages and possibly making it easier to get crystals there, especially before the big Kingsland fighting, right? So there's a lot changing that could be coming to crystal tech, and I hope that it's for the better, obviously, because crystal tech is already a very contentious feature in Rise of Kingdoms. Lots of people don't like crystal tech. Truthfully, I feel like crystal tech doesn't move the needle a ton for open field PvP in its current state, right? Like the most important things in crystal tech are all damage and troop capacity and march speed, right? Those are the most important things right now. The attack is kind of an afterthought. It's not that, I mean, like, it's good to have it, obviously it's more stats, but really crystal tech moves the needle more so for rally and garrison leaders these days. But if we start to see more tanky stats here, it could be even more important for open field fighting moving forward. So I'm really interested to see how this works. Also, obviously, gift runes, I have no idea what this is. Are you going to be able to like choose a rune to spawn in on the map, right? Like that would be really cool, because there's a lot of times where big fighting is happening and the enemies have a 10% health rune and you're stuck with a purple 5% attack 5% defense rune, which is just not, it's just not it, right? Or like a 7% attack 7% march speed, which is fine, but it ain't 10% health, that's for sure, right? So yeah, this is, I'm really interested to see what this is. That could be a big game changer if you can start to manipulate runes on the map. So all in all, really excited to see what's coming to crystal tech. Again, I hope that it is a net positive for the game, because it is a very delicate system in the game right now. I know a lot of people hate it and not that many people love it, so we'll have to wait and see what actually comes out. Next up, we have what appears to be another KVK. Supreme Strife awaits valiant warriors. Okay, my match battle vote countdown. It says cross kingdom teams, skill customization, huge resource refunds, enjoy the mayhem of a pure KVK experience. So maybe this is going to be just like a mini KVK experience. I think they've already discussed implementing something like this in the past, so we're just starting now to get a little bit more details here. It looks like, I mean, obviously this is a tiny map, right? So I mean, if it's is this the event that they said would come like on the weekends, right, where you could just go in and brawl? If that's the case, it's possibly the case, like I said earlier, with that unverified screenshot, those refunds could be for this game mode and not regular KVK. So let me just be abundantly clear here, okay? Do not take that screenshot as fact until we get it in the game. But I'm excited to see what Supreme Strife is. I know a lot of players just want 0 downtime before fighting, and so they actually migrate to other kingdoms just so that way they can just stay in KVK all the time. Maybe this will be sort of a middle ground for them, so that way they don't have to constantly be migrating just to always be in a fighting scenario. Every weekend they'll get some fighting. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work. Hopefully there's going to be a ton of good rewards here, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult to convince players to go all out for this game mode, especially because if you can lose resources and troops, then you're not going to have them for your big KVKs, right? So really excited to see what this is, but all in all, I'm excited. More game modes where you fight other kingdoms is great. Anyway, guys, with that being said, that is everything that was revealed at the Dubai meetup. There might be other little bits and pieces of information that, you know, were not revealed on the social media accounts, but they were revealed on slides at the event. If that is the case, I will try to make an update video covering more of that stuff. But I also just want to be abundantly clear one more time that all of this stuff is, you know, future potential plans. None of this is guaranteed to come into the game. None of this is guaranteed to come into the game in the way that they showed from these screenshots, right? So always keep that in mind. But of course, let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments section below. What do you think about changes to crystal technology, automatic flag planning, things like that? Let me know down in the comment section below. While you're down there, drop a thumbs up on the video. It really helps out the channel a ton. It helps get this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other Rise of Kingdoms players might see it. And consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here and clicking the bell to be notified the next time I upload breaking news for Rise of Kingdoms. A lot of you guys think you're subscribed, but you're actually not. About 65% of you guys are not subscribed, so go ahead and click sub down below. It's fast, free, takes 1 second, and you can always unsub later if you don't want to stay subscribed. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.